Hello, veterans. George Christos here for the Veterans Information Channel. Today I want to talk about the VA administration as a whole. And basically today is January 15th, 2021. In 5 days, we're going to have a new secretary of the VA secretary. His name is Dennis McDowell, McDonoughh. Dennis McDowell. You can look him up on the internet, but he is a former chief of staff, deputy of the National Security Advisor, chief of staff for National Security Council, and he's been fighting for military families and veterans for years. He's a first-class manager. He can manage a large company like the VA. So I'd like to start a letter writing, writing letters to the VA Secretary, Dennis McDowell, Washington, D.C., the Capital National Regional Office, 1722 I Street Northwest, Washington, D.C., and I didn't get that zip code for you. But anyhow, you can look it up on the internet and find that regional office. Send them either a typed out or handwritten letter. And these are the types of things that I put in my letter. Dear Dennis McDowell, VA Secretary, Washington, D.C., because I mailed it today. By the time he gets it, it'll be past January 20th, 2021. Please fill the 50,000 unfilled jobs at the VA, please. Now, if you're not familiar with that, going back 5 years, there was about 20,000 plus doctors and nurses, administrators, unfilled jobs at the VA. Before that, it was even a higher number. But the previous administration, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, they filled a lot of those jobs. And they had a plan to build 17 new hospitals and facilities. They built a beautiful facility. They call it a clinic in Lee County, Florida, in Cape Coral. But it's like this giant hospital. They do everything there except major surgery. But it's beautiful. And there is to be a lot more of those. But the current administration that's in office up until the 20th of January 2021, they stopped all of that. They stopped the hiring. They fired people. People quit from having to sign non-disclosure agreements. I used to be able to talk to the doctors and nurses at the VA and say, hey, what's going on here? You used to be able to complain. No, for 4 years now, they couldn't complain about anything. They couldn't be a whistleblower. If you don't believe me, check it out. I'm just telling you, I'm just reporting the facts here. I'm not taking any sides, okay? Don't want to do that. I'm just a veteran trying to help other veterans. So I told him I was a Vietnam veteran, exposed to Agent Orange 1967, be in the VA healthcare system for 52 years. I have a lot to report about the veterans from all wars and their needs. The for-profit companies that received money over the past 4 years have done nothing for veterans. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that, oh, well, man, I'm really thrilled I got to go to a doctor close by or whatever. But if you're a severely disabled veteran, especially Vietnam veterans suffering from Agent Orange, you can go to the doctor on the outside. It's hit and miss. Plus, I went through the choice program 2-3 years ago. I was in the choice program when it was the Obama-Biden choice program. It worked fairly well, but as soon as they changed leadership, and I used the choice program, and it was they given all this money from the VA healthcare system. That's why they didn't hire anybody. They gave it to for-profit companies that donated money to their campaign. That's not right, but that's what happened. So as a result, 50,000 unfilled jobs at the VA at this time. Maybe, who knows what that number is, because they won't report it now. They were reporting it up until a few months ago, but now they are just like, zip it, top secret. So anyhow, veterans, you know, with the war injuries, PTSD, we don't, oh, I was getting to you. I used it a couple years ago under the new system. I sat in the doctor's office for 4.5 hours. Yeah, I was the last one they took. I was supposed to be the first one, but because they were not sure if they were going to get paid or not, because the choice program never sent records, they let me sit in the waiting room for 4.5 hours. I got in to see the doctor. Young guy walks in his 20s. I thought he was the nurse. No, he was the doctor. I was supposed to see an endocrinologist, you know, for my nerves. This guy just fresh out of med school. Yeah. I wasted 6 hours getting there. It's just, you know, ridiculous. So I haven't used the choice program since. And then I did a lot of research, and they just robbed the VA budget. They got billions with a B and just reinvested in their company. So enough of that. We gotta move forward here. We gotta get excited about Dennis McDowell, a manager, somebody who really, really has had experience, you know. So, you know, my suggestions to him, and this is what I'd like, you know, people should, if you feel the same way, let's write some letters. Because you can email, you can do all that. I don't think anybody reads any of that stuff, but a letter, especially handwritten letter, or just one that you printed out and you signed your name to. But I think they need to turn the VA hospitals into teaching hospitals, and they need to build the 17 more facilities that they were planned on doing. They may already decided they're going to do that. I don't know. I want to find out. I want to find out for you and me. So, you know, for the past 3 years, there's been thousands of medical students who have graduated, but they couldn't get internships because the teaching hospitals were leery of whether Medicare, Medicaid is going to get cut, because they use that to subsidize the $55,000 they pay an intern, yada, 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 yada. So typically a teaching hospital that would hire 25 interns from med school, they'd hire 5 the past couple years. So you have thousands of medical students graduated. They got a $185,000 student loan, and they're working at McDonald's. Yeah. So I suggested that they hire all these medical students, and I'm sure the teaching hospitals are going to ramp back up. I got to because of COVID, but you know, the VA needs to compete for these students. But under the current administration, if a doctor applies to the VA or a nurse, it's a 6-month process minimum. So by the time the VA decides, yeah, let's hire this doctor, because they don't want to, he or she has taken a job somewhere else, because he can't wait. You can't, you know, you want to transfer to a different state because of family, whatever, and you want to get a job at the VA as a doctor or nurse. You can't wait no 6 months. So it's ridiculous. I've normally, give you another example, I normally have a primary care physician for years, same person, same doctor for years. 6-month checkup, 6-month checkup. Fine. Past 3 or 4 years, I haven't had a primary care physician. Yeah. I've had they rent doctors. They have a rental doctor come in, and and he's got to start from scratch because he doesn't know anything about you. So anyhow, we got to get back to the VA taking care of veterans, because right now they're not. I know there's people out there yell at me all the time. Oh man, I had this terrific experience. Man, you're like one in a million, because when I talk to the veterans in the waiting rooms, at the VA facilities, the hospitals, the clinics, they ain't happy. They ain't happy. So, I mean, yeah, if you got a minor injury, you're I don't want to I don't think the VA should discriminate against anybody as far as if you're, totally disabled or if you're a 10%er, but also I'm telling them the VA, what they need to do, they need to cut out all this paperwork. Any veteran with a DD-214 should be able to arrange an appointment for a complete physical. And I don't care if they're a World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraqi, Saudi Arabia, wherever. They were in the military. And yeah, some of these, the all voluntary military, they're not guaranteed health care. They should be. So the VA should offer free examination, blood work, the whole shooting match, if they need an MR, whatever. And then the veteran can determine whether he or she feels that something is related to when they were in the military, and they can file a claim right there at the VA. They can walk up to a desk. They need to do this and file that claim, and they've already seen the doctor. Bingo. And the VA should only have less, 48, 72 hours, yay or nay. Doctor says they got this condition. They were in the military. There's a DD-214. They don't need to get witnesses and all this other. That's all excuses not to give you any compensation, not to give you any health care. Excuse. Shouldn't happen. Should be DD-214, take care of me. That's it. Period. And you wouldn't need all these claims people, Let the doctor, you go get that physical, and the doctor reads your physical. Let him sign your claim. Yeah, this guy's got this, So, and, to compete, when they hire these medical students, if they complete their 2 or 3 year residency, like at a teaching hospital, and then they stay for another 4 years, so basically a 6 or 7 year commitment, at the end of that time, the VA would pay off, or the government, $100,000 of their student loan. So, that's it. That's the answer. That's just a suggestion. So, they need to build those new facilities. And, this business of renting a space in a shopping center, that's got to end. Build a building, a clinic, a permanent place. Not some rental property where they don't even have automatic doors or ramps, or I've seen it all. So, they got to stop this denial process, because right now you send a claim in, you could be missing an arm. They want to say, prove it. They turn down every claim. It's just, first time claimer, boom. And especially Vietnam veterans, you Gulf War veterans with all the toxic gases and stuff like that. You've got children affected by this. Same thing with the Agent Orange. All this toxic crap that we breathe, and has caused nerve damage and who knows what. Bladder cancer. There's 300,000 veterans in VA hospitals right now with bladder cancer. And the VA, the current administration will not approve bladder cancer as connected to the chemicals in whether it's Agent Orange or the burn pits or they said no. Now, Congress already passed a bill and approved that 3 years ago and sent it to the VA. VA won't, the current guy, I forget what his name is, he's worthless, will not put that on the list because they'd have to take care of more veterans. So sad, we'd have to take care of the veterans. Yeah, that's their attitude. We don't want to take care of more veterans. We're overloaded because we don't have any employees. Why is that? The guy at the top. Sorry. The guy at the top. So, hey, do something. Call your congressman, call your senators, get them on your speed dial. Take 5 minutes a day and do it. I love the idea of the letter. I'm sending this 2-page letter, and I'm going to have regular correspondence with Dennis McDowell, Secretary of the VA or VA Secretary, and I'm putting all my contact information on there. So I says, I have experience, the good and the bad. Give me a call. How simple is that? Stop this 6-month process for hiring a doctor. It's ridiculous. You got to do what the hospitals do, because otherwise you're not. The thing is, the past three or 4 years, they don't want to hire anybody. Hey, we took the applications and then they decided to go elsewhere. Yeah, after 3 or 4 months of jacking them around. So we got to tell our government officials, congressmen, senators, and the people at the VA at the top, because it goes from the top down. Flows downhill. And who's at the bottom? Veterans. We're at the bottom of the food chain. Those people at the VA right now, there's a lot of good employees at the VA. If you get to see a doctor or a nurse at the VA, they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. But they're chasing everybody off, and they want to privatize the VA. Hopefully with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and this new guy, Dennis. Get to know Dennis. Read about him. Guy's the real deal. No, he's not a veteran. Maybe we don't need a veteran. Maybe we need a manager that can hire and fire, get things done, build crap like hospitals. So, hey, stay tuned. Hey, do me a big favor I'm asking now. Subscribe to the channel. Please. I'm begging you. I really am. So, it's George Christos for the Veterans Information Channel. We got to fight for our benefits.